sorry. I forgot to do Hi, Anthony.
Hey, that was such a cool intro.
I forgot I have that. So I was like, oh, maybe I should delete it. And then with the music, I was like, yeah, oh, yeah.
Perfect. Get you in the vibe.
Exactly. Okay, so welcome. How are you? You
Thank
look
you.
awesome.
I'm good. You have such a great smile too. So it was a great intro.
Yeah, I had so many awarenesses lately. So
Yeah.
hence the awarenesses makes you happy.
Yeah.
So as you know, we are having war again between our neighbors with Israel and Iran. And yeah, but I realized right now I'm different than before. You know, I used to get sad or react, you know. Now I'm like, okay, how does it get any better than this? And a couple of days ago, I realized people in Israel and Iran would like us, all of us, to react.
Yeah.
You know, so someone can do something to stop it. I was like, oh, okay, this is not my reaction. And then I just asked some questions and I just asked, okay, how can I energetically contribute whatever is required? What else can I be or do or have, you know? So, but it's like, it's something familiar for Turkish people to have war around us. And we are like, life goes on. But also we allow it to affect us.
Sure.
So we go into drama and trauma with the money and other effects of the war. Woo, yeah. So is there anything you would recommend us to ask or yeah?
Yeah. Well, you know, I asked Gary Douglas that question a while ago, especially during the COVID times. And when you know I started to become aware of maybe let's just say the lies that were propagated against people who questioned what was going on with the whole thing, right? And those people were vilified, they were condemned. You know, the media certainly, you know, talk about fake news. I don't know what it was like in your country, but in my country, it was like one lie after the other after the other. And now, 4 or 5 years later, all those of us who were considered the crazy ones challenging the narrative, we are coming to find out that everything that we had said and thought was not a lie. It wasn't a conspiracy. It's actually factual. And so, but I asked him, I'm like, you know, I feel like I need to go to the, you know, Washington, D.C. and protest and do all those, you know, like direct linear interaction. And he's like, look, he's like, you wakening up, being you, contributing by facilitating consciousness, that in and of itself wakes up the masses, right? And there was a particular gentleman, like sort of like that we were sort of like hoping would be our next president, let's say, but he wasn't one of the main two. And you know, there's that saying, like, it never shows up like how you think, right? So we were contributing in the ways that we can contribute to him. And many of us facilitators actually met, his name is RFK Jr. They have met him personally. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that we contributed. He was willing to actually change political parties and switch to a completely different political party where his family actually vilified him. But at the end of the day, he did that so that he can actually be an influence. And as a result, he's now part of the current administration, and he's delivering all the promises that he said he would do as a president. So, and he's exposing a lot of the lies that were propagated against the world with regards to the whole COVID thing. So now you have this ongoing wars, and he talks about the military-industrial complex, which is this thing that's been going on, I don't know, maybe since the 1920s, definitely since the 40s after World War II, but it seems to be a moneymaker for governments. I'm not saying it's for all governments, but certain governments are getting very, very rich from these ongoing wars. And so, you know, you name this call like keep choosing, keep choosing. You know, at the end of the day, it's up to us to wake up and to become more conscious, but not from what people usually do is like, we'll wake up, we become more conscious, and then we pick a side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which creates more division.
Yeah.
And, you know, my interesting point of view is like, it's like 2025. Human beings have been on this earth for God knows how long, way longer than any of the textbooks say, any of the religious or philosophical textbooks say. And yet we're still warring against each other. You're telling me that we can't just live and interact with our beautiful planet in a way that contributes to it in an exponential way? We still have to like destroy each other. It's like, are we that primitive? Are we still like, you know? It's crazy to me. So anyway, I would just say, what would waking up and being you create for the world? What would it take for us to be able to embody and institute more consciousness on planet Earth? One thing I can tell you is if we can just get over our point of view of having to be right about the right religion, the right political party, the right way to govern a society, that might help. You know what I mean? That could contribute, but you know, it's just interesting, and it's been that way. We just need to wake up as a species. Let's just say that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so weird, you know. It's like governments think the only choice they have to go through economic crisis, to get more money, to create war. This is insane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah. And so I don't know like who our audience is, but one of the things we learn in Access Consciousness is to like destroy and uncreate everywhere we were part of contributing to that. You know, now, whether it's this lifetime or other lifetimes. Now, I know a lot of people don't have that point of view, you know, that they've been around more than once. But what if that's an accurate point of view? What if we are infinite beings and this isn't the first rodeo? This isn't the first time we've actually had a body. And so, but, you know, we don't all remember all the lifetimes that we had and the things that we did in those lifetimes. We could have very well been those kinds of people that you know, instituted division, separation, war, famine, pillaging, you know, societies, and you know what I mean? So one of the things that we do within the realm of Access Consciousness is begin to undo, you know, perhaps the unconsciousness and anti-consciousness that we may have contributed to in other lifetimes, or at least our ancestors did. So yeah, but we have to undo it from its roots, basically, for it to change.
Yeah. And I think now it's literally the time, right? I mean,
yeah,
well, it's 2025. Come on.
Right. It's like, what the frig? You know what I mean? It's like, seriously? But, it's like you watch these politicians and, they all think they're right. I mean, just in our country alone, there's so much division. And it's like every time you turn on the media, it's like they want to create the division. It's like, wow, that's so sick to me. It's sick to me. They're not talking about possibilities in the media. They're just talking about who got murdered, which country's wrong, we're right. Actually, and half of us are right, half of us are wrong, and the other half thinks we're wrong, and the other half thinks they're right. It's like, really, that's what we're doing. That's really that's what else is possible. And that's why more people need to wake up. And I did see and get to observe more people waking up over the last 4 or 5 years. But, here we go again with more wars,
Mm-hmm.
And these are the wars that are just obvious. What about the ones we don't know about? What about the ones that are going on that nobody ever talks about?
Yeah, I know some, in families, we had in mine so many wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've seen some movies about Turkey and Armenia and all that kind of stuff, like, and it's everywhere. We've just been doing it as a human species. And what would it take to change that? What would it take to just create, I hate sounding like a hippie from the 60s, but just where there's just peace. We don't have to agree with one another, but goodness gracious, don't we have like renewable energy where people can, have enough water, enough food, and, now you got crazy ass people trying to take control over the agricultural industry, to force us to eat things that are fake.
Yeah. We allowed.
What else is possible?
Yeah, we allowed so many crazy things to go on. Maybe it's time to have some awarenesses and collect the gifts of those awarenesses and choose something different and start creating something different for us, for all of us, and for the world.
It is possible. I mean, you see events that go on, like, let's say like the Olympics, for example. You see countries come together and they do compete against each other, but there's a love and a respect and an honor for one another. You know what I mean? It's like they're why can't we have that politically? Why can't we have that politically? It doesn't make any sense. So it's possible. I know it's possible. Yeah. When children are born, they don't look at the color of each other's skin. They're not asking each other what religion they are. They don't ask each other what political party they ascribe to. They just go out and play. They play with one another. Why can't we be like, why does that change when we become adults? Well, the points of view, the points of view we decided are right. Is it working? No. So, what else is truly possible? And, that's what's really cool about access consciousness. And, it is that it really is designed to help to empower you to be you, to know what you know, to not be led blindly. And then hopefully as you become more empowered and step into more of you, you can be that influence that the world needs and requires.
How did we get so lucky? Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to honor you.
So true. Yeah, I'm learning that. Mm-hmm. I'm learning that every day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Honor myself and my body, my life. Yeah. Yep. And I keep choosing and creating. So that's why I know everyone can do that. If I can do that, if I can be that, everyone can be that and do that,
Yeah. And that's just a choice.
Yeah. How did we get so lucky? Oh my God. And you are still coming to Istanbul.
Yes.
You didn't back down. You didn't say, oh, you have war around you. I'm not coming. You didn't say that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you said, let's go.
What else is possible? And what can we create that's like beyond this reality?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so grateful for you, truly.
Thank
and
you.
I can't wait. I'm like, can we have the class now?
Well, I look forward to seeing you next month.
Yes, it's so close. And guys, if you want some more information, you can reach out to me, to Sevil or Ayşegül or Eileen. We would be so happy to give you more information. Come and join us. Let's have so much fun and create our lives from fun.
Yes.
And enjoyment.
And possibility.
Please. And possibility. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you. Thank you.